And we're back with another video. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Performative activism is what I'm going to call this. Light, camera, action, performance. I got so many comments about, did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? The answer is yes, I saw what happened. And let's talk about it. So, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to share with y'all some of my thoughts I had, what I see going on, the future I see for the Sims community and EA. Is all going to get into it in this video. So, stay tuned, stay where you are. We're going to talk about everything that's been happening these last couple days. Hi, if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Ricky, and this is Ricky Stars, and this is where we talk about topics of engagement. And so far, the biggest topic of engagement has been the $55 billion deal with Sims. If you don't know, I used to create Sims content. I stepped away from that when I realized how racist, exploitative, the game became, and also EA, and by extension, anything that is affiliated with EA became very much like that. So I stepped back and I wanted to advocate for a game that could be more accessible, more equitable to everyone who plays it. And so that's what my channel has morphed into. I have played The Sims for years. I remember when the first Sims game was out, I played Sims 2 back in the day. And I love The Sims. I played Sims on Nintendo DS. Like, I had a Nintendo DS. Like, The Sims is close to my heart. So I am not critiquing EA. I'm not critiquing the game as like a lens of like, oh, you're just hating, oh, you don't know anything. It's from a long-term like lover of the product and wanting to see the Sims grow and flourish and it to last. I want the longevity of the game to last. I think it'll be really cool if like one day my kids are playing The Sims and it's like a big thing. So this comes from a place of love. It is not a channel for hate. If I'm talking about certain creators, it is because I am critiquing their actions, not necessarily their persons and who they are. And I'm connecting their actions to the larger exploitative practices of EA. I am not here to spread hate. I am not here to, like, be sipping on haterade. That's not my intention here. It is only to spread information based on facts and research, and also based on my years of experience being working in the media, studying the media, working in PR, working in business, legal field. Like, I've had a variety of different fields, so I feel like I'm well versed to analyze what's going on. So, without further ado, I got my notes. It helps me keep on track, and I'm going to jump right into it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is misinformation. I feel like since this deal announced, there have been so many videos that are spreading misinformation and lies about the way the US business structure like model works, and trying to make people feel certain type of ways. Either there's people out there making people feel like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, or making people feel like, oh, this has nothing to do with you, when in the US, capitalism and politics go hand in hand. Everything is political, and if you feel like you can't be political, you might want to analyze some of your biases and your privilege, because it is a privilege to not be political or to put your head in the sand and not deal with politics. And I'm not saying we don't all have privileges, but in a situation where we're talking about racism, sexism, and terrible, heinous acts against the LGBTQIA plus community, to say you're not political means that you probably don't understand the perspective of those people from those communities, and that is a privilege. So I just want to put that out there. Like, yeah. As we say in MWGS, the personal is political. Everything is political, especially when we live in political climates, especially here in the US. So you can't really say that. And EA is a US based company. So, yeah, you've got to kind of understand how it works over here in the US before you can just come out here and say things that don't make sense. Okay, here's back to misinformation. So I saw a video by an individual, and I don't know if I'm gonna put the screenshots of the video. I might, because this is YouTube, and if you're gonna come on this app and yap, you should at least know what you're talking about. You shouldn't go on this app and spread misinformation. But I saw this video and I was flabbergasted. I think this video came from a very emotional standpoint because, like, the person who made this video is in the EA Creator Network. I'm sure they're feeling some type of way about everything going on. And I understand the fear of, like, change and not understanding fully what's happening, but to use your fear to kind of project onto other people and their lives is not okay, especially when it comes from a sense of not knowing what you talk about. So I just encourage everyone, before you hit record and upload on this app, at least know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm just going to read from my notes that I took watching this video, and explain to point out some of the misinformations that I came across in this video. And like I said, this is coming from a perspective of someone who has worked in PR. I've studied business. I worked in business. I worked in government actually too. So I understand the socio-political business climate that is happening with this deal. So it's coming from that standpoint. It's not coming from I'm just sitting on here yapping. No, this is research and years of professional and academic work. Okay, so the first thing I want to make very clear, we all need to stop comparing a video game to necessary goods. And I've said this over and over and over and over again, and I'm going to keep saying it until some of y'all get it. This is a video game. This is not a necessity like your iPhone, like water, like oats, like bread. This is a video game, and that video game is a choice. Now, if you decided to make your career off of a video game, which is a choice, that into was your choice. And we all have choices. So we can no longer keep comparing this. You want to talk about what's going on overseas with the iPhone situation? Sure, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the hundreds and millennium of colonialization that's happening on the African continent. Are you doing anything about it? You in your home country has a long history of indigenous marginalization and keeping indigenous people quiet. Are we going to talk about it? Like, if we really want to talk about it, are we going to talk about it? Are we going to dissect it? Honestly, I think a lot of us need to realize that if we cannot at least start with our choices, we're not going to get anywhere with the necessities. If we can't start with our choices, we're not going to get anywhere with the necessities, because those same conglomerate monopolies that control our necessities control our choices. And at least if we can start with choices, maybe someday, one day, we can work on the necessities, and children will no longer have to suffer at the hands of big companies like Apple and the iPhone. But right now, because of the conglomerate monopoly on resources like technology and water and lights and things that should be free to all people because they're necessities, we are where we are. But a video game, The Sims, is not a necessity. You don't need it. There's other games, there's other things you can do for your hobby in your free time. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna say any more about that. Second thing that I heard about in this video is that they kept saying we need to come together. And I saw this in multiple videos where they're like, we need to stop fighting against each other. We need to all come together and support each other. I'm sorry. But if you think coming together to support each other is being complacent and continue to pat people on the back for their, what's the right word? For their inactions against social injustice, that's not the togetherness that I want to participate, to be honest. If we cannot hold people accountable for their actions or inactions against social injustice, there's no togetherness in that. There's no togetherness in that at all. Because as a Black person, I'm sorry. If you're going to sit up here and say that you are proud to be that closely connected to a company that is now owned by a government that is literally like unaliving people that looks like me and that are literally discriminatory towards people that look like me, not on the like overt level like here in the US, because it's still prevalent in the US, but active legalization in the government. Like, are we serious? Are we serious? I'm supposed to come together with you when you don't even respect my existence as an individual? Obviously you don't respect my existence, because if you did, you wouldn't support. Do you see? Are we following? Are we getting what I'm saying here? Do we follow the thread? And furthermore, you're saying we should all come together and support when we've been saying the game been broken for how long? How long has this game been broken? How many people save files got corrupted? How many bugs are in this game? Why is it still raining outside? Why is for rent broken? Whatever broken is, why people falling through the ceilings? The Sims going through the ceilings and the roofs and the floors. Why is that happening in this game? And why are you promoting a broken product? I'm sorry. We all were outraged when the celebrities were supporting Balenciaga because of their racism and their things. Now we have a product that's not only racist and sexist and homophobic, but it is also broken. So that's like if Balenciaga situation, right? If they were not only promoting a racist, sexist, homophobic company, but they were also promoting a company where if you bought the shoes or the purse, it didn't work. Let's say you bought the purse and the handle snapped the next day. The quality of the item isn't even worth it. So if you are going to dig your head in the sand and not address the elephant in the room, that is sexism, racism, and homophobia and transphobia, at least can we have quality control for the items that we support and we promote? Not just play. I'm not talking about the people that play it. I'm not talking about the people who use it as a medium for storytelling. I'm talking about the people that just sit here on this app and straight up promote and support a broken product. I'm talking to you. You are the people I'm talking to. Okay, back to my notes. If I hear support for the devs one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it because this is not some mom and pop shop that is making your local donuts down the street. This is a $1 billion company. So you buying a broken pack does not go into the pockets of the devs. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And you saying, oh, only a small percentage is going to go to Saudi Arabia. That's not how it works. That's not how the US business model works. You know how it works? EA, conglomerate, has different brands. You've got the sports, EA Sports. You've got the Sims. You got the many other games that they own and earn. Their top performing is sports and Sims, by the way. And they pull in all the money, and the money goes into the pot. And from the money that goes into a pot, it gets divvied up into salary pay, divvied up into shareholders, divvied up into paying off the owners. Like, it gets divvied up. And what's impactful about the way it gets divvied up is if the Sims, sorry, I keep saying divvy, I like that word. If the Sims is the second highest making entity within this, let's say sports brings in 50 million, the Sims brings in 30 million, right? That's 30 million that would be missing from the pot. So they're going to be like, oh crap, what can we do to address this 30 million missing from the pot? That is why boycotting matters, because it shows them and it tells them that you care about where your money goes. And if we would have done this sooner, maybe we wouldn't have so many broken packs and the game would not be stuck on the loading screen that you're trying to enjoy after getting off your 9 to 5, after working so long. You just want to sit at your desk chair with your wine or your beverage and play the game. But when you go and open it, it doesn't work. So you spent $1,500 for something that you should be able to enjoy and it doesn't work. And you got people out here getting paid to continue to sell you a broken product. And those people are the ones yapping around on Blue Skies and X and all of these social media apps, continuing to try to protect their space of selling you a broken product because you've made them millions and thousands of dollars and they are cushy and comfy where they are while you are sitting there with your laptop open, frustrated at a loading screen. I'm gonna keep on before this video gets too long because I got a long list to get through. I got a long list, but I'm gonna keep it long. I'm gonna keep it short. Okay. And furthermore, when this company's business model is all about making money, as we have exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, M, K, Z as proof that all they care about money at this point, they're going to invest in things like AI because they're thinking, oh, if we can get an AI to do it and we can lay off 50 people, then we can take those salaries, pay a portion of it towards AI, and pocket the rest of the money. So, of course, AI is going to take over the devs' jobs. So, are you really supporting the devs by not saying anything and keep buying this broken product and keep promoting it? And people, oh, sponsored by EA, sponsored by EA. Are you really helping them by remaining silent or remaining stagnant? Because in the end, you're hurting them. Okay. And the question that people keep asking is, what do you expect a person who plays The Sims to do? And I'm flabbergasted by this question because the question is mute. It's moot. M-O-O-T. M-O-O-T. It don't make no sense. Because what do I expect people to play The Sims to do? To care about where their money's going? What do I expect the people that promote The Sims to do? To have some kind of ethical or moral consciousness? Because you constantly talking about how woke this game are, but if you are asleep playing a woken game, what does that make you? If you are asleep playing a woken game, what does that make you? And if you can't realize the areas of growth that we have to make the game even more quote unquote woker, or more terms that I like to use is equitable and accessible, then you are the problem. Number two, the racism and hypocrisy. When creators like SimSiga came out and started saying like, hey, I think like this is a wake-up call and we should all do something about it, and other creators, larger creators who are Eurocentric, by the way, based, are white, as I would like to say, said, oh, I don't know what to do on my livelihood, I don't know what to do, we started coming for creators like SimSiga, and even myself, people started making comments. But now that all of the Eurocentric white people, the big people who make the millions of dollars off you and have the PR firms representing them, are coming out saying, oh, I don't stand, I'm leaving the EA Creator Network, which I said before was the bare minimum for a lot of people like this, big creators like this, because it is just a fraction of what they could do to really speak up against EA. Once they start doing that, we want to hand clap them and say, oh, you're a hero, superwoman, this, whatever, whatever, you're our savior, when in reality, they just did the bare minimum to save their face and keep you paying them by the views and the promotions and the products. Because they got PR teams that do PR crisis meetings, and they saw their numbers dropping, their views dropping, their subscriptions dropping, and they knew they had to say something. And you guys applauded them and expected us to applaud them too for the bare minimum. When smaller creators like SimSiga gave up their platform in ways of supporting exploitation, and they contributed legacy challenges to the game, they contributed to the storytelling, they provided resources to the game, they were instrumental to the future of The Sims, and they gave that up. And it was more of a risk for them than the big cushiony creators with PR firms who's make millions, and they received hate. That shows the embedded racism in this community, that white people who do it are seen as the saviors And when a black person does it and calls out the hypocrisy, they're like, "Oh, you're just a hater. Oh, you're just hating. Oh, you're trying to force people to think like you. Oh my gosh, how dare you?" And I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna leave it at here. There's nothing in life more addictive than success and the illusion of success. And I think that is where a lot of this back and forward foolishness is coming from, the inability to see the core plot. It's fear, but it's also the fear of giving up success. And if your success is tied to exploitation and hatred, what does that make you? Who does that make you? And furthermore, we have to hold these individuals accountable because they are just like the celebrities that we are constantly calling out for their actions. They are not you. They're not relatable to you. They have PR firms. They have millions and millions of dollars behind them. They have cushiony investments that to where no matter what they can do, they're going to be okay. They're not lowly level people. They're not victims in this situation. The greatest victim in this situation is you. You are the greatest victim. And the greater victims are those people over in Saudi Arabia who are fearing for their lives. And our money is going to contribute to the uplifting and supporting the government that are making people's lives hell on earth. That is what matters. And I want to give a shout out to a creator that I support and I will continue to support because she has been astronomical in creating a pathway for many creators to follow after her in the Sims community, and her storytelling abilities and her ability to bring characters to life, her editing, her machinima style really is a trailblazer for the community. And that's Ashley Play, Ash War Plays. If you haven't checked her out, please check her out. She's amazing, Black Simmer, an amazing woman, and her content truly brings something new and refreshing. She provides representation in this community that can seem so marginalized. And she announced that she was leaving the EA Creator Network and she was going to start playing other games. She's going to keep doing her Sims content because, like I said, she created universes, she created storytelling. At this point, her content is beyond the Sims. Her content is her own universe that she's crafted. And I was really proud to support someone who stands up against social injustice but still remains true to herself. That is why I will not be hand clapping big creators like Lil Simsy, Sid Mag, James Turner, all these people in their PR crafted statements because I know PR. And I know that that came from a place of a PR move rather than initial social justice enlightenment, which is going to change and transform the spaces in which we play, like The Sims, in which we live in which we use, like our iPhone. But that transformation cannot start if we stay idle and we stay silent and we expect the bare minimum from the conglomerates and the corporations that have left us and led us to the point of where we are arguing about a non-necessity like a video game, and we are victimizing individuals that are not the victim in this situation because we have gotten too attached to our parasocial relationships to people that we see on screens and we don't really know nothing about them. You don't know nothing about these people. You don't know who they are. You see a crafted message on a screen. That's all you see. And these people have made millions at the price of marginalizing millions of people, and it's not fair. Because, like I said, there are so many other BIPOC creators out there, LGBTQIA plus creators out there who have been marginalized. And maybe if their voices were shared and centered, we wouldn't be in the mess where we are today. The game would have more representation. It maybe wouldn't be sold to a racist, homophobic government. And maybe if we take some time to think and speak up for change now, we can have a brighter future for the game that all of us love. But it will not happen in silence. It will not happen with misinformation. And it will not happen through parasocial relationships with conglomerate influencers that are just there to sell you things and not even offer you substance material and not even offer you a space to where you feel seen and represented in the material that they provide. Calling a sim that is black a burnt pancake contributes to cognitive biases. And that cognitive bias, you should always be held accountable for that. And that should be addressed. And when things like that get unaddressed, it's how we end up where we are today. And we cannot continue on that same cycle. We must embark change. And that change starts with you.